Hi, this is Jackie from Bronx Baubles. I'm back with part 3 of my vintage costume jewelry sterling silver ring collection. I had so many rings that I was able to do it in 3 parts. And so should be the final of my ring collection. So without further ado, before I go on to the rings, please go ahead and hit subscribe and the bell and join my network because I'm trying to build it. This is all new to me. I'm enjoying making these videos and I hope to make many, many more. So without further ado, let's get right to the costume jewelry ring collection. This is going to be a nice one because I have some really interesting pieces in this collection here. This here is my bird ring made of turquoise, and it's a detailed bird. See how cool that is? And I bought this in October when I went to Salem, Massachusetts. I saw this and I just had to get it. I have a fetish with birds, and the reason is because my father had 2 bird tattoos on his chest that he got back in when he served in the military in the 1950s in Hawaii. And he used to fly birds in the Bronx, pigeons from a pigeon coop on top of our house. And those were interesting times for me. And so when I see birds, it kind of reminds me of my dad, who is deceased. So this one is a gorgeous representation of him. And I bought the matching earrings, and if I can find the necklace, I love it. It is probably one of my most cherished rings. Not the most comfortable because, as you can see, but the motif of this ring and the symbolism for me is everything. This ring here, I bought this maybe a year ago, and it's super heavy. Very, very well made ring. And I believe this is either ivory or bone that has a varnish to it. And I don't know which one it is, but maybe somebody can tell me what they think it is. I recently took this to a jeweler when I was visiting Beacon, New York, right before COVID was a couple of months ago, and they said that they think that it's a Native American ring, which was interesting because when I bought this ring, I ended up buying a native Navajo necklace that when you look at it looks super modern. It doesn't look like your typical turquoise Native American piece of jewelry because it had no turquoise on it. But after doing this research, I find out that it's over $1,000 necklace. It's gorgeous. And I bought this ring with that necklace, so I'm thinking perhaps maybe it could be Native American because of that. I'm not sure though. If any of you guys know, please let me know. Inside, it's signed CN. If anybody knows anything about this ring, let me know. Super heavy, and look at that. It's kind of beautiful. Almost looks like a tooth. This ring is a purple amethyst ring. I bought, I can't even tell you, 25 years ago. The sad thing about this ring was I banged it up and I chipped it, as you can see here, totally decreasing the ring. But it's such a substantial size that I kept it anyway. And that's why, you know, when you wear big jewelry like this that are made of glass or any kind of breakable material, you do have to be careful because it's so easy to break it. This ring I bought maybe 6 months ago at a thrift store, and it was expensive for being a thrift store find, and I was a little annoyed that I had to pay that kind of money. But I bought it because you can see that he is a drummer player, and I studied bomba y plena for a little bit, and bomba y plena is a dance that's originated, I think, from the Africans that brought it over to Puerto Rico. It's a call and response dance that's motivated by the dancer, not the drummer. So the dancer moves her hips, moves her shoulders, moves her feet, and the drummer has to follow the dancer, not the other way around where the drummer leads the dance and the dance follows the beats of the drums. This is not that kind. This is the other way around. And so when I saw that, it reminded me of the bomba plena players from Puerto Rico. And I had to get it. I don't care how much it ended up costing me. And I think I paid like $40 for it, and I was a little annoyed. But it's definitely a well-made ring. It is signed, and the signature on here is CINI. So if anybody knows anything about that, please let me know. And that's why this ring is special to me. Now, this ring I recently bought from the thrift store. I think I paid like $4 for it. Really nice, cute gem of a ring with flower motif and a pearl. And it's decently made with marcasites and the leaf on the side that should be go to the flower. It's just a cute ring like that. You see that? It's pretty. This ring here, don't recall when I bought this. I think I was living on Long Island when I bought this ring. Nice red ruby ring. Has a pink tinge to it. Sterling silver. It has some weight, and it's just a nice faceted stone. It's real pretty. This ring here, my friend got this for me for Christmas. And I worked with her, and initially she wasn't very fond of me or anyone for that matter, but I won her over and we became good friends, and she got me this for Christmas. And so I do wear it on occasion, but when I do, it reminds me of her. This ring I remember buying at a flea market in Queens, and I remember at the time thinking this is one huge London blue ring, and now I look at the rings that I have, and this is like demure compared to some of the big rings that I own, but it's nice with a pair of jeans. You know, it's just an everyday type of ring for me. Maybe not for some of you guys out there. Now look at this one. This is a really cool labradorite ring. You see how pretty that is? Look at the way the colors, and it's a huge piece of labradorite slab. Very well made with the beading and the rope work that goes all the way around the ring. And I remember I haggled for this ring. I think they wanted $75 at a flea market in Manhattan. And I talked them down. I had $50, and I said, would you give it to me for this? And he did. And so I love this ring. This ring I recently bought at a thrift store. It's one of those spinner rings. I remember going crazy for these rings back in the 90s, I want to say. People had them in gold and sterling and silver. It's just one of those rings that actually, if you think about it, it's probably called, I can call this a fidget ring. You could be at a board meeting and, you know, maybe it's a little too loud, it needs a little oil. But, you know, you're talking to somebody on a date and you want to fidget with something, there you go. So it's a ring that has a purpose. This is another reproduction Art Deco ring, and I love the Art Deco era. With I want to call that Alexandrite because although it looks like an amethyst, it does change color. Blues and lavender and amethyst, and so I think it's like a it's definitely a reproduction. It's not a real genuine, but it's still a cute ring. This is a gem of a ring. Look at that ring. I like that milky quality, but the reason why I bought this ring is because it reminds me of the Hamptons. The blue of the water, the way the sun glistens on the ocean side. It reminds me of like sea glass and beach glass, and it's just a gem of a little ring, and I love it. It's a very good quality ring. The back is you know, finished off nicely, and that front, it's prong held in an old like Art Deco style. Definitely a repro, but that's a gem of a ring. And this is an Art Deco ring that I remember purchasing. It's another one of those rings that I bought with the garnet at the same store in Forest Hills. And this is another ring that I put on layaway because I think it was like $45 or something like that, and I didn't have that kind of money, but I just thought the ring was amazing. And I've seen this ring being sold as a genuine Art Deco, but it's not. Again, with the green chrysophase, I think it's called. Beautiful Art Deco design. Now this ring here is comparable to, where's that ring that I just showed? Can't find it. I don't have my glasses on. I can't really see too far. But this ring here is an actual Art Deco ring, as opposed to the other ring that I showed you that was a reproduction, which is this one here. You can see how they're similar. But the fine detail of this ring, I remember paying $20 and I thought it was a steal. The blue on that is just super. It's very, very comfortable. But this is a repro, and this is the actual, from the actual era. This is really, really nicely made ring. These two rings here, I didn't even know I had two rings that were similar in design. And the ironic thing is, both of them are missing rhinestones in the exact same area. So that might be a design flaw. But if you look at the side of it, it has like an alligator design to it. This is, both are jade. And this is lavender jade. And I don't know the name of this jade. If you guys know what it is, please let me know. It has like a reddish brown tinge to it. These are two stacking rings, and actually here's a third. 3 different styles of stacking rings. This is channel set, this is prong set, and so is this, but this is emerald design, and this is just round. And you can stack them like this, and I had a whole series of stackable rings like this that I gave away, and somehow I kept these. I like this one the best. And I tend to wear this one. Where's my yellow ring? You hear the clanging of the ring. I could actually wear it with this one. And the other ring, I don't know where it's at. But anyway, you see how that looks? Wow. You can light up the sky with that one. This here, oh, I got a fantastic ring coming up next. Is another one of those natural stone rings. I think this is in the turquoise family. This is probably a genuine vintage ring. I bought this at the thrift store. I like the hunker of a stone. It's got a big deep profile. You see that? It's not a shaving of it. It's an actual nice rock of a stone. And I think if you study turquoise, you can tell where this is from by the color of green and by the inclusions. I don't know enough about it to know. If you guys know, let me know. Now, this is a special ring that I bought literally like a month ago. And it's a retro ring. And when I bought this ring, I had a funny feeling that this was a uranium ring. And I have 3 gold uranium rings, and this is the first one that I got that was silver. It was just glistening in the sunlight. And the unique thing about the uranium rings is that it's actually made with uranium, but not enough to kill anybody. It's but enough that when you put black light on it, it glows. Let's see if you can see that. Oh, there it is. See how it's glowing? You know? And nobody would know that just by wearing it. But I knew enough about it that, and I had a black light at home for my other rings that I tested it. And look at that. Look at the way that shines. Okay? Let's put that on there again. That's a unique ring. There are people out there that collect uranium glass. People make bowls and pitchers and cups and stuff like that. And I guess you can say that I collect uranium jewelry. People, there's necklaces and it's and even in costume jewelry. This happens to be in sterling, and I happen to have 14 karat gold rings. But you can get costume jewelry that glow in the dark too. So that's a very special piece. I'm almost done here. This is a nice Art Deco piece, and it's a dance ring. I think they call this dance or chatelaine. You can hang it from one of the chatelaines, and I do have a genuine chatelaine. I'll show it at some point. But back in the days, when you went out dancing, you would, ta-da, you would put a dime in there. And if you needed to make a phone call at that time, and I do remember this, I'm dating myself, but a phone call at the phone booth was a dime. Now everyone has cell phones, but if you wanted to call home for somebody to come pick you up, you put your dimes in there, then you go dancing, and it's like a little purse. It's really cute. I don't think I've ever worn it, but I do like it. And the interesting thing about dimes for me, I bought this, I don't know, 20 years ago. As I said, I never worn it. And I'm just thinking today for the first time, dimes remind me of my dad. When he passed away, I asked my dad to give me a sign. And the first thing I found was a dime on the floor. And I said, Dad, really, a dime? You know? And so I picked it up. I said, okay, how many dimes could you find in a lifetime? You know, I mean, dimes are not something that you regularly find. And these days, people just buy things with credit cards and debit cards. But you will be surprised how many dimes I find on the regular. And every time I find them, I kiss it up to God and say, thank you, Dad, for letting me know that you're always here for me. And now my friends have found dimes. My friend would text me and say, hey, Jackie, I found a dime. Your dad's saying hi, you know. So that's really special. So now that I see this, kind of made the connection for the first time. And that's the beautiful thing about jewelry. This here is a jade ring. It's gorgeous. Look how that looks, and look how well made. It's almost like a butterfly back there. Very, very comfortable. I do wear this ring quite often because I do have a couple of jade pieces, and this is just a really well made ring. I see that there's a stone missing, and I have to get that fixed. And there's a couple of the other two rings that have stones missing. This is a real stunning pink ice princess pink ring. I don't have a lot of pink jewelry. I'm not really a pink girl, but this is really a nice piece. I like that a lot. I wonder if I can wear it with that that channel set yellow ring. The yellow and the pink together would look cute. Unfortunately, I can't find it, so I'm blind. This is a mother of pearl ring back when I was into that whole Marcasite Victoriana stuff, and I still kept it. I had the earrings to match it. I don't know where it's at. This ring here is a ring that I bought recently because it reminds me of one of my boyfriends in high school. He bought me a ring like this, 14 karat rubies and diamonds, and he went to his great lengths to save enough money from his after school job to buy it for me. And when he did, I thought I was the most special girl in the world. About 3 years ago, he passed away, and his family invited me to the funeral, even though we hadn't kept in touch with him for over 25 years. But it meant a lot to me. And so when I saw this ring, I had to get it because it reminded me of him and this dollar ring that he bought me, which is a ring that I gave to my sister, but I don't want it back per se, and I think this one would suffice in its place. This is a gorgeous, adorable butterfly ring. I think Mariah Carey has a similar ring, big version of this with real diamonds and probably platinum, but it's a cute ring. This is a ring that I bought, oh man, 30 years ago. It's tarnished, as you can see, but it has an Art Nouveau motif. It's not very well made, I have to say, but she's a flying girl with a dragonfly. And I love dragonflies. Like I said, I collect critters. I like all kinds of critters, and dragonflies is definitely one of my top critters. These are 2 rings that I recently bought in the last year. And the nice things about these rings is that they're filigree rings with plique de jour enameling. And basically, my understanding what plique de jour is, it's like a stained glass where the light hits it and there's no backing to it, so you see right through it. So they take the filigree and then they apply the enamel on top of it, and there's no back to it, so that when the light hits it, it shines. And so I bought these at thrift stores for under probably like $4 each. This one has a little bit of damage. One of the leaves came out, but I bought it anyway because I knew that it's, a special ring that you really can't find anywhere. And it looks like they were made from the same place because they have similar qualities with the little rosette here and the little rosette here. One is a butterfly and the other one is chrysanthemum. And I don't know if these are Asian or French. If you guys know what it is, please let me know. So that's it for part 3, and that is my entire vintage sterling silver costume jewelry collection. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, go ahead and click on my YouTube channel and check that out. Hit subscribe, and please put your comments if you have any answers to any of the questions I asked. Write them down so I can learn a little bit more about my costume jewelry. And that is my goal, is to educate other people the things that I know, but also that so that I can learn from you as well. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed creating it, and let me know what you think. Take care. Adios.